First of all, it's good to see you.
Steve, what's going on?
Good to see you, my man.
Yes, sir.
10 years ago, if I were sitting in the same row as you, when you went to the Super Bowl as a kid with your dad, and I would tell you that you'd be playing in the Super Bowl in the same stadium 10 years later, what would you say?
I said, man, Drake, you got some work to do, probably. That's probably the number one thing I'd say. I would probably be sitting there. I bought a jacket similar to this one.
Did you really?
Just because I saw it in one of the stores. I begged my dad to have it, to buy it, and it was obviously had Panthers on instead of Patriots, but just a kind of a full circle moment. And just I tell Drake, hey, I think you got some work to do, but it's worth it. And I'm sitting here now with a chance to play in the Super Bowl. It sounds surreal, and it's really an awesome. It
is a full circle moment. Did you allow yourself to dream that day?
Dream? I was trying to experience that as a fan. I wasn't really sitting there as a fan, as a probably middle school kid, thinking, this could be me one day. I was more just really
taking it all in.
Yeah, taking it all in. That's a great way to put it. I was taking it all in. The game and Peyton's last game, and a fan, a team that I cheered for growing up. Being in the Super Bowl, and my dad, really just a surreal moment for my dad. Throughout the whole playoff, said, hey, if they make it, I'll take you. And I was like, okay, are you sure? Are you really serious? And next thing you know, we're sitting there in the game, and just what an awesome moment for me to experience with my dad, and knowing how much we enjoy football together, enjoy this position that we're in, playing quarterbacks. He played as well. Just the position of this sport is just special.
When you left Foxborough, 12 degrees, fans turned out for the rally. How important are the fans to you?
Fans
what
make
they
us
mean
go.
to you?
Oh, the fans make us go. They make this league go. They're such a big, important aspect of the game, and I just, want to thank our fans in New England, fans across the world, New England fans. That it's just such a great fan base, and it's deserving with how much success they've had and what we've put out this year. It's deserving, and we're getting something to cheer for, and hopefully we get one more game to cheer for because we're excited.
They braved the cold that day.
They brave the cold every day. You're up there in Boston and around New England right now. It's snowing on the ground. They're at games with their shirts off. They're loud, and you always say the real fans come out when the playoffs started, and you felt that. You felt that different energy inside Gillette, in the playoffs. And I think everywhere we've been this year, they've traveled, and they've traveled well. And looking forward to them traveling here on Sunday. I know we'll travel great.
Since you've been drafted, the spotlight's been on you, and now it's on you even brighter. I mean, everywhere you go, everybody's wondering about Drake Maye, his health, what he's doing off the field. How do you manage all that? And how do you deal with when you get injured? How do you manage all that?
I think you just, manage, you worry about what people inside, of our organization and our locker room think. And that's our coaches and players and support staff, and knowing that I'm going to do whatever I can to be ready for the game, and I have all year long. And I'm feeling great, feeling good right now, and looking forward to getting out there with the teammates one more time. What type of man am I to not be able to give it my all for one more game, a chance to win a pretty cool trophy. So I'll be ready to go. I'm ready to go right now if we had to, and I'm looking forward to it.
I love that question. What kind of man am I if I can't be out there?
Exactly. I know everybody in the locker room would expect themselves to be out there, and that's what I'm expecting myself, and I know I will.
Are you surprised all the attention? Did you have any idea that it would blow up this big? Just about you on and off the field. You know what I'm saying?
It's hard to predict it. I think I'm more surprised at how much people have kind of embraced my wife. It's been so cool to see her story and what it's been like for her, and now she's the one out at restaurants having to take pictures, and I'm the one laughing in the back. So
she's getting recognized more than you are.
She says at games, walking around the stadium at games, it's awesome for her. She's getting bombarded, and I think that's really special for the fan base and for us to share the same journey and kind of be in the spotlight together.
You look at Seattle's defense. What do you see?
They're fast. They play as a team. You can tell they're well coached. They do things the right way. They play a brand of football out there in Seattle that they have earned the respect and respect of the league for how they play on defense. And I think we got a tough challenge, but I know with our guys in that locker room that we've responded all year long. And I got no doubt in that.
One of the things you've been able to do is just keep things simple, right? And is a game at times as simple as just, hey, let's not turn the ball over.
Exactly.
Let's just, keep it simple.
Keep it simple. With how our defense is playing and how our defense has played this past few weeks, you got to see how's the game's going. And Coach McDaniels is so good about, kind of addressing, hey, this is how the game's going, the weather's, what's the weather like, and knowing that sometimes we may have to throw for, 350, and sometimes you may have to just not turn the ball over, and you end up going to the Super Bowl. So we're not worried about stats and all that. We're worried about winning games, and that's what that's what football's about.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Okay, this may be the toughest question I'm going to ask you, but here it is. Your brother Luke won national championship at North Carolina in basketball.
Yep.
Is there more pressure on you to win this thing when it comes to bragging rights, family bragging rights?
Bragging rights? I think I'd trump them for sure with the Super Bowl, but I wouldn't say it's pressure. They've been along the journey with me, all my life, and just having three of my best friends that have had success and won national championship has been awesome for me to see how they go back to work the next day. Or my brother Luke, hit one of the biggest shots of his life, was in class the next morning of just how to respond to success and how to respond to maybe failure, and they've just been the biggest thing for me to see and fortunate enough for me to see.
That's awesome. He was in class the night, biggest shot of his life, in class the next day.
In class the next day, 8 a.m.
What does that teach you?
I just think don't buy into the highs and lows of sports, of life. They never get too high, and when you're having success, never get too low, and failure. There's always something the next day that you could change somebody's life or impact somebody's life or impact your own life, and trying to find somebody when you have success, don't let that dream stop. That's what the biggest thing I felt like. Don't let your hopes and your dreams and kind of stop once you get to the NFL. Hey, once I'm here, I'm not going to just relax. Keep going and try to chase something.
How much fun are you having? I'm
having a blast. How can you not be having fun? Got such a great team, such great coaches, and it's one of the coolest things about this team. You enjoy being around each other, and it's hard to say that all, I really can say everybody in that locker room rallies around Coach Vrabel, and I think that's one of the coolest things you see. Not a single person in that locker room, wouldn't, put it all on the line for Coach. And I think that's how we play, and that's what shows, when you watch the film.
Good luck on Sunday, man.
Thanks, Steve. Go Pats. Yes, sir.
Go Pats.